Presiding Officer, the decisions we have arrived at today are difficult and complex ones, and this reflects the fact that we are currently at a delicate and fragile point in what we very much hope is a transition to a different way of dealing with this virus. In summary, we do believe that vaccinations are opening the path to a less restrictive way of dealing with COVID, one that is less driven by case numbers. But because not all adults have been fully vaccinated with 2 doses to date, we are not quite there yet. And as we make this transition, just to compound the challenge further, we're also dealing with a new, faster spreading variant. All of this means that at this critical stage, to avoid being knocked off course completely, we must still err on the side of caution. And this variant is spreading faster than previous variants of the virus, and we now believe that it accounts for well over half of our new daily cases. Because of that, Scotland's R number is almost certainly above 1 right now. And as we know from past painful experience, that makes our situation highly precarious. Indeed, many public health experts are warning that the UK could, and I stress could, now be at the start of a 3rd wave of the virus. And obviously, it would be wrong to completely ignore that warning. So taking all of this into account, and with the support of the National Incident Management Team, I can confirm that Glasgow City will move down to level 2 from midnight on Friday into Saturday. This means that people in Glasgow, as has been the case in most of the rest of Scotland since mid-May, will be able to meet in homes in groups of no more than 6 from a maximum of 3 households. It also means that indoor licensed hospitality can reopen and that people can travel again between Glasgow and other parts of Scotland. There are a number of other local authority areas, in addition to Glasgow, that are not currently meeting the criteria for level 1, either in case numbers or test positivity. However, it is also our judgment that with case numbers as high as they are in these areas, and with a substantial proportion of adults not yet double-dosed, it is safer and more likely to protect our progress overall if we hold these areas in level 2 for a further period. In addition to Glasgow, this applies to Edinburgh and Midlothian, Dundee, East Bartonshire, Renfrewshire and East Renfrewshire, the 3 Ayrshires, North and South Lanarkshire and Clackmannanshire and Stirling. Now, I know this will be disappointing, very disappointing for people in these areas. For these local authority areas, I should say we will be providing support to soft play and other closed sectors that had expected to open or operate in a different way from 7th June, and full details will be provided by the Finance Secretary tomorrow. But it is important to stress that this is a pause, not a step backwards. And level 2 is not lockdown. It does have an impact on opening hours of pubs and restaurants and the numbers that can attend certain events. So I can confirm that the following areas will move to level 1 from 1 minute past midnight on Saturday morning. Those areas are Highland, Argyll and Bute, Aberdeen City and Aberdeenshire, Murray, Angus, Perth and Kinross, Falkirk, Fife, Inverclyde, East and West Lothian, Western Bartonshire, Dumfries and Galloway and the Borders. The full detail of what that means are set out on the Scottish Government website, but the main changes are as follows. The limits on meetings in indoor public places increase to 8 people from 3 households and outdoors to 12 people from 12 households. 100 people as opposed to 50 can attend weddings and funerals, and places like soft play and fun fairs can reopen. Finally, Shetland, Orkney and the Western Isles and a number of small remote islands are already in level 1. These communities are continuing to report extremely low numbers of new cases, and in many cases a higher than average proportion of adults have received both doses of the vaccine. So these areas will move to level 0, again from a minute past midnight on Saturday morning. The vaccines do make the outlook positive, but the new variant means that the road ahead is still potentially bumpy. So caution is necessary. That said, no part of the country is going backwards today. Before the vaccines, that would have been impossible on case numbers like these. But the vaccines are changing the game, and that means we can still be optimistic, very optimistic, about our chances of much more normality over this summer and beyond.